Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith, and I am your host. Listen, I know you want to hear about 5 things that women need to do as we are in this month of financial awareness and financial literacy. Listen, just hold on, stay tuned, and we will be right back with those 5 tips. All right. Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And I am your host, of course, financial professional Ayanna Smith. Help you make and save your money. Also, drill down with the professional woman, the middle class woman, and getting her finances in order, whether she is single or married. Yes, so we want to make sure that you are here. Make sure that you call a friend, get a friend with their papers, pencils, crayons, even, and write down these things that we're going to talk about on Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. Now, listen, we're going to get into 5 things that women need to know, that need to know all about. We need to know all about it, okay? Because we are in Financial Awareness Month, and we want to be financially aware so that we can do something. Remember, the place to start is at the beginning. Start where you are and start now. And the mantra of this show, you all should be able to say it with me. Money is always doing what? Talking, even if we aren't doing what? Talking about it. So those 2 things, we have to have some action. We have to talk, and then after we talk, we need to apply and do save, invest, repeat. Okay. So this is brought to you, of course, by we're looking at Building Wealth. Those of you who have not purchased Building Wealth, it is the newest compilation of myself and 4 other dynamic ladies that share their stories from money and mindset to business credit, to talking about business by the numbers, making sure that you are following the numbers of your business if you have one. If you don't have one, this will be a great place to start in thinking, getting your mindset together as you're preparing to launch out in embarking on being a business owner. And I would say to anyone, it is great to plan. It's better to plan and then have something in mind than to try to just jump out there all of the time and then miss it, fall on our faces. Nothing wrong with falling on our faces because we do learn. However, if we can be prepared and be ready ahead of time, wouldn't that be amazing? And wouldn't that just catapult us to heights unknown? So getting right into our topic at hand, we want to make sure, and I hope everybody is to write these things down. You're hearing what we're talking about, and we're going to get into our 5 things and go from there. So here we go. Okay, so our 5 things that we're going to look at, we're going to jump into making sure that we do some budgeting. Our budgeting basics would be to manage our personal finances effectively. So we could look at creating a budget. And most of the time, what I like to do, I may not help you sit down. Well, I can on the consult side, create the budget. But what we want to do is when I'm helping people, because my main thing in helping people and ladies, individual, is getting you in the right insurance vehicle that will couple and supplement the things that you already have going on your job, supplement the policies that you already have in place, because sometimes we need to add on a little bit more. Sometimes we need to add on a policy that includes some long-term care or some living benefits, something that our current policy may or may not have. We just want to add on a little more. So we do that by sitting down and looking at what you have as far as your expenditures and your income, and look at your bottom line, look at your number on what's going in, what's coming out. And then we can help you to manage that and see and reallocate, because we don't want you to cut all of your fund, but we want you to be able to fund your future and your now. Okay, so when we do that, we sit down and we look at everything that's going out, coming in, and on like an Excel sheet, we have it calculated where it will show you what you are projected and supposed to have each time you get paid or each time some money comes in. Being able to balance that sheet will be amazing and help you to see where you are. I tell you, it's something that I have to constantly work on and do and pull together. And sometimes that thing doesn't feel good because we just want to kind of fly by the seat of our pants, but we can't do that and be effective. So that word that we're going to insert in there that is required is going to be discipline in every area of our lives. So we most definitely have to do that with our money. And oftentimes I look at when people say, oh my goodness, I didn't know I had this or that supposed to be left over. What did I do with my money? And sometimes, guilty. We have eaten it up, drank it up, drove it, wore it, whatever. We have done those things, and therefore we can't spend money twice. It can't be added and subtracted at the same time. And so, we have to make sure that we're tracking and budgeting and setting financial goals. And when we set those financial goals, if it's setting aside and saying, in the next 2 months, I want to have $2,000 saved, then what am I going to do to be able to do that? Am I going to reallocate fundings that's already in my budget, or am I going to go and do some additional jobs, or I don't want to say hustles, but do some additional things that will help us to amass the money that we need to get our goals started, our financial dreams going. All right, then 2. So that's the budgeting, okay? 2, building the emergency savings. So you will be surprised, along with that budgeting and putting aside your goal, your money that you're going to goal yourself to save, the emergency savings is what we need to look at. Also having a month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months in a savings account so that we can have it for unexpected expenses. Car tire, need a car tire, need something done in the home, need something, taken care of with your child, with yourself, something that was unexpected. And you say, okay, no problem. I can handle that. I can take care of that expense and keep moving, and then just go back and start rebuilding again. So the main thing we want to emphasize that it is significant that we have an emergency fund, and that we have to start saving for those unexpected expenses. And we do it little by little. There are even some little savings booklets and things like that I have seen and I've tried and done. And you put away so much money a month and a week, and then that helps you to get to that goal that you want to get to. But only you know what that goal is. If it's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $10,000 saving up, it's a $50, $25. I mean, save something and start where? At the beginning, and start when? Today. Number 3, we want to understand our credit scores. Now, understanding our credit scores can be a little cumbersome, but we know we have a general range. And, I saw a statistic that was sharing if your if your credit score, if your credit score falls within a certain range, then it is more than likely. Let me see if I can pull that up. I tell you, I was blown away. I surely hope that I can get it, but it said if your credit score was, say, between 500 and 600 or something like that, then you would more than likely have, like, I think it was saying it was attached to our health. I was like, oh no, attached to our health. And then it says if you have a higher credit score, you'll live longer. Yes, it was our morbidity rate. You would 5 something to 6 something credit score, the 62 range would be your passing away. If it was up in the 700-800s, you would be in your 80s passing away. Now, I don't know where all of that came from, and I hope that I can go back and find it and then maybe post it. But I was looking at that and it shocked me, and I said, wow, Health and wealth do coincide. They really do. And so building and understanding our credit scores also gives us latitude on our purchasing power, our lending and buying power, what we can obtain from lenders, what we can go out and invest, what we can get from lenders so that we can invest and turn over more money so more money can make more money. What can we buy properties, and can we invest our monies into life insurance policies and put them in those vehicles of mutual funds and IRAs, things that are going to turn over our money to make money after we have borrowed it. Then we can pay that money back and keep moving forward with the money that we have placed in these very lucrative and solid vehicles. So that's something to really look at, understanding the credit scores and why we need them and why they matter, and then looking at the strategies to improving them. And I have a good friend who helps people with their credit, so reach out and let me know if you need me to direct them your way. I do some things in that arena, but I know that that person that I'm thinking of can get us on the move a little faster. All right, so 4, we did 1, budgeting. 2, building emergency savings. 3, understanding your credit scores. And 4, investing for beginners. Now, sometimes you're not a beginner investor, but you may want to build. So investing for builders. You may be a beginner. You may be a builder. You may be a true boss with it, where you have that whole thing down pat. But here we go. Look at, first of all, the fundamentals of investing, how they work, include the different options. We're going to look at the different options. There are different options, different levels of risk, meaning, are you a risk taker? Do you like the risk, high risk, knowing that the money the volatility is high, the money can be gone, or you want something with low risk where it's going to be consistent and maintain itself? What's your risk level? And then also with that, learning different wealth building strategies. Now, as I said, and as you know, for the most part, I am going to delve into and steer people into the life insurance arena, that mode of building wealth and building funds. That's even what I talk about in my book, Building Wealth, an anthology of building wealth. We talk about the ways and the different ways to position yourself with life insurance. However, I have gotten into and obtained some pertinent knowledge on even investing in precious metals and commodities. We need to talk about those things because these are the things that we don't know fully about. Even looking at some things of stocks that produce dividends, that means that they're going to pay out monthly or maybe quarterly, however that company is set up. Looking at going into that arena, making sure that we have some things that are going to couple with and pair along with what we already have. I was able to speak to a company, a corporate setting, and shared with them. I said, if you have a 401k, 403b, TSP, 457, they're all the same thing. They just are denoted by different numbers and letters and such, so that the IRS, Uncle Sam, which makes us all cousins, know where you pretty much are kind of generally working, whether if you are in the corporate space, you're in the medical space, educational space, military, civil service. It gives you those delineations like that on the numbers and the letters that are over that. But guess what? It's still the same stock market. Say it with me. Same stock market. It's the same stock market. It is the same stock market. It is the same stock market. So we have to know different places to place our money where we can not avoid taxes, but at least alleviate them so much, and put our monies into, whether it's, like I said, the matching. If it's matching, let's say this, go back for a minute. If it's matching, your company is matching your 401ks and things like that, take the money up to the match them up to the matching that the company is doing. If they're not matching, you may want to think about reallocating your funds elsewhere into something where it's going to be a little more aggressive for you and not a high risk. But if you're good with the risk, go ahead and roll with it. But I always say, make sure that you are looking at something, depending on your age, on how much risk you are willing to take and how much you need to aggressively fund your goals and your dreams. So let's look at it like that. Like I said, I have different things in place with precious metals. Most definitely with the life insurance, that is the mainstay of everything on how to show you how to build your wealth and grow it in that manner. With those precious metals are an awesome way to have, especially in the times that we are coming to where our paper dollars and our coins are diminishing quickly in their what we say their what's the best word in their worth. Okay. And silver and gold and things of that nature go up most of the time in their worth. This true silver, true gold does that. So let's talk about even that avenue and speaking about how we can make sure that you are building all areas of your portfolio and all sides of your supporting end game, right? All right. And now we are into number 5. Number 5 is debt management strategies. Okay. We want to explore ways to tackle debt. One way, let me go back. When I talk to people about life insurance, I introduce and share with them the ways to figure out how much is needed. I do a DIME method, a method that's the acronym like the coin, DIME. And I utilize that because it does help to frame the way we think about how much is needed and how much is necessary. And the D is going to stand for debt. The I is going to stand for your income. The M is going to stand for your mortgage. If you have a mortgage or if you're renting, generalize and put how much you're putting out on a monthly basis. And E would stand for your education. Are you trying to educate children, grandchildren, and the like? Okay. Or even yourself. You look at all those numbers, and I would say a rule of thumb, many statisticians share in that life insurance arena and share that we need to out the gate, think about having and obtaining, if it's at one time or over time, at least 10,000, at least 10 times your salary. So if you make $100,000, 10 times that would be $1 million. Okay. And so your coverage would need to be $1 million. And then we would even delve into what type of insurance will be good, whether it would be term insurance for you or the permanent insurances, which will build the cash. The term insurance doesn't build the cash. The permanent insurance builds cash. And we would have to talk about that because it's not a one size fits all. It's a one size fits who? One size fits you, and you. So let's make sure that we get that together with the debt management strategy. So bringing it in, you want to think about how much insurance would I need to cover the debts that I have. So with the debt management, we have to look at how much debt do we have? How much debt do I have? Let's look at that. What's high interest debt? What's some old debt? Can I negotiate with the creditors? How can I not get in the debt traps? One thing I remember getting into a debt trap, and I had to get myself out of it, was when I was in college. And of course, if you had a college ID, how pitiful was it? No money, but a college ID. They would give you, just by showing your ID, a credit card, not letting you know that you were going to tear up your credit if you did not know how to pay it off. Because that $500, that limit that they give you, seems like $5 million when you don't have any money to pay it back. And you wonder why, I'll just pay $10 a month and the interest rate is 50%. Exaggeratory, yes. But that means, good grief, for whatever the interest rate is, if it's 12%, that means I have to pay back 12 cents on every dollar I borrow. So automatically, if I max it out, then I don't have anywhere to go. But in a crunch, and I still don't have the money that I spent over there just doing whatever. Now I'm still looking like, oh goodness, I gotta pay this money back. And why is it taking me 10 years to pay $500? Yeah. So I know that those who were in college with me, been there, done that. We had the t-shirt, bumper sticker, everything on how we got gaffled by that debt trap. But thankfully, I was able to get out of that Whew, and try not to go back that way again. Okay. And that is the thing. So as we come to our descent, just remember we want to go back to the top, looking at recapping, budgeting, making sure we get our budgets together, building our emergency savings, understanding our credit scores, investing, levels of investing, beginner, builder, boss, debt management strategies, and those 5 things are some good places to begin and to start for those so for those of us who are willing to move along and take a chance and reshape our mind, get our mindsets together, knowing that only we can only if we only talk about what we need to be about in these areas, that will help us so much more in getting ahead. 2 things I would say as we wrap up, 2 things that we really have uh not we don't have a love affair with them. I would say we want to not have a love affair with them because we don't want to talk about it. Those 2 things are our health and our money. Those are 2 things, our health and our wealth. And health is wealth. It is. But not having wealth can affect our health and shorten our years because of the angst and the nervousness and sometimes the anxiety that it causes. It could really have our mindsets shaken because we are not prepared. And some people even ask, and I'll go on to say this, some people even ask about, well, what do I do? Can I retire? Well, if we don't have enough funding to retire, then we're going to have to keep working. And it depends on our generation, who was footing and funding the bill. Oftentimes we find that that let's say if you were Gen X, or you funded the boomers retirement. But then now a lot of people are returning to entrepreneurship, which is nothing wrong with it at all. I function in that space. Along, let's say, with W-2s, you can do it together. Let your W-2 fund your 1099. You can do that. Thinking about it so many different ways, but blend those avenues and those streams of income together so that they can make sense on your end goal and your planning and what you want it to look like. How much do you want to have? How much are you willing to and able to put into a life insurance policy above the cost of insurance so that it can build money and help not only protect you if you get too sick with a heart attack, cancer, stroke, and can't feed, bathe, toilet, transfer yourself, those living benefits can kick in. But you want to make sure that you have something possibly to supplement your retirement, because, or the lack thereof, because sometimes what we think is going to be there is not. If we don't have the people in the workforce to fund and that are working enough to fund our retirement funds, that means that we are going to have to aggressively fund our own stuff. And that, of course, is the way it was designed, but we didn't get that memo about you are supposed to be saving while you're working. Oftentimes it's almost like let's amass all of these things and then we don't have anything saved up. So ladies, we want to make sure that we have some things saved up. And again, do the countdown. We had 5, debt management, 4, investing, 3, understanding the credit scores, 2, building that emergency savings pot of money, and 1, budgeting basics. But of course, it's all intertwined with getting the appropriate life insurances so that can help you to do all those things. And remember, money is always talking. Even if we aren't talking about it, make sure that you connect with me via on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will see things coming up over there on that side. Would love to speak with you also too by going to askayanna.com to set up a complimentary consultation, and then we will determine what your needs would be and how we would go from there with any additional additional things that we need from you. And so, of course, here, subscribe to my YouTube channel at the Ayanna Smith. And also go to IG at Ask Ayanna _Financial Pro. And on Facebook business page, Ask for Ayanna. So remember, this is Money Talks with Ayanna Smith. And money is always talking, even if we aren't talking about it. Be wonderful. Stay true to yourselves. Like, comment, and share. If you're on the replay, press the replay button and share this with a friend. Be well.